Hi, everybody. It's Amanda with Pain to Purpose Coaching, and I'm excited to be bringing you another day of manifestation topics and things like that. I'm just sharing with you guys to get you in the right frame of mind and the right flow of energy to start attracting more abundance and attracting what it is that you want. So I know you guys are probably thinking, why does she have this Firewalker stuff on, and what does that mean? Well, some of you already know what it means if you've ever been to a Tony Robbins event. But the reason I'm wearing this today is because I have a story that goes along with it, and it's kind of pretty important, to keeping with the energy of what it is that you want to attract. So yesterday we talked a little bit about, the history of abundance. We talked about, the flow and how, money and abundance, it flows in, it flows out. It's not supposed to be, the energy of it, it's not supposed to be stagnation and hoarding and like that kind of, that's not the way money works either. It goes in, it goes out. And so, we become more abundant when we share. And then we did the exercise on, just creating some flow in your bank account or spending, just like a little kind of a homework, that I give. I like homework. I don't know about you guys, but I remember we had these little workbooks in school when we were kids, and it just, the teacher taught it, so you got to hear and see their example, and then you got to do it, and it just solidified everything every time. It's such a great way to learn. So that's why I'll talk about it, in theory and explain, and then give you an example to where you can see it working, and then, kind of give you a little bit of homework so you can keep it going for yourself and really seal the deal and the info in there. So anyway, so that was the first day, and then one of the biggest things is to manifest is that you have to stay in alignment with source energy, with high vibration. And throughout the day, and that's, it can be really hard to do at first, but it just takes some practice. And as long as you keep redirecting yourself and and this, guys, this is not just good for manifestation, it's actually good for humankind. I'm guilty of it recently of kind of, I tell people, hey, if you want to stay high vibe, you've got to stay out of that, these sidetracked hustles are, getting sidetracked and, all about the people are upset about Pride Month and all of this stuff. And, if you work on yourself and you practice being the best you, and you stay in alignment with source energy, and God's energy, you stay in contact with that, then you're not worried about all that other stuff. And like I said, we slip in and out, but as long as you're able to correct yourself and get back into that high vibe and that high state, because the truth is, God wants for you to want more. God wants for you to, God has a vision for you that you can't even imagine, of all the things that you're capable and all the possibilities and everything. It's just it's a life you can't even imagine. So you got to stay high vibe, and you got to stay in alignment with that. And that does not align with worrying about all this other stuff and political stuff and that's going on, how somebody dresses or whatever. It's going to bring you down. So, and like I said, I got a little bit into it a little bit this week too. I'm guilty, but I reset. So I'm staying in alignment with just loving everybody unconditionally. And I think that's really the best way to go. And the other stuff works itself out. I'm not the hall monitor, I'm not like it's none of my business really. I need to focus on this and focus on that. And so I hope that helps anybody out there that's kind of been dealing with some of that stuff on social media and everything. So, without further ado, we'll be in alignment, and we will have the goal in mind. We'll have the high vibration and the feeling and all this stuff and see it happening. We'll be specific. We'll know all these things. and then something will happen, and like we'll just start dwelling on, how bad we want it, or we'll start thinking, we'll apply limits to it. Like if you're trying to manifest winning the lottery, and you really want to win the lottery, and you think, well, it's going to take time, then you're throwing a stop in. You're throwing a limiting belief. You've got the limiting belief that it's going to take time. And like Dr. Joe Dispenza talks about, you start throwing all these other things in the way, and it creates blocks to what it is that you're trying to manifest and accomplish and have. And so like if somebody's trying to manifest, if they're ill and they're trying to manifest a cure for their disease, and they're trying to survive this thing, and then they let these little doubts creep in, or they rely on somebody else and think, well, they're not the most competent, or I don't know, and that's putting in limiting beliefs, and that can really affect the outcome. So we've got to stay in alignment with that vibe all the time, and as soon as you start getting out of it, you've got to zip yourself right back in. And there are different ways to do that, but the one that I wanted to talk about is why I'm wearing this getup today, okay? So, a few years ago, time, man. A few years ago, I went to a Tony Robbins event, UPW Miami, in 2019, and I had already started going to school to be a life coach and everything, and they have this fire walking ceremony where people literally walk across fire. They walk across hot coals. And you've seen a lot of shaman do this. You've seen them do it as initiations or tests or ceremonies, religious ceremonies, things like that in other countries. And it's a really very tribal and very primal way to get yourself in that instant vibe that I'm talking about, where anything is possible and it is, and you just go for it. In that event, we get all worked up, we get hype, and you guys are, it's like a pep rally pretty much, or before a game, or, because your mindset is everything. So, and feeling, is everything. It matters. So if we went to this event, and I went by myself, and I met some people there and was sitting next to them, and they were from the same state and everything. So it was really cool. I met a lot of really great people out there, really neat folks. And, but the whole time, this firewalking ceremony usually happens, I think, on the second day, and, or maybe even the first. But it's like the scariest thing in the world, because all of us have had the experience before where we were like, we fell through the cracks on things, or we did everything the same way everybody else did, and we got a different outcome. You got hurt, if you're clumsy, if you feel like you're not so lucky sometimes, things like that, it matters. So we get everything aligned at this event to go march through the fire. We're hyped up. We've got the mindset. It's been, we've NLP all day, which is neuro linguistics programming. We certified in that and all that, and then they used it on us, which is kind of cool. So, they had everything going. We did our chants. We did the work up to that. We had the music going. We took our shoes off and marched, through a field, a parking lot, out of the arena, everything else to walk on this fire. So like everybody in this heightened state, right? And if you're in that heightened state, then you can accomplish anything. And that's where they get us. That's where they took us. So, but the whole time leading up to that moment before I walked across the fire, I was drinking the Kool-Aid, and I was excited, but I still had this small belief in the back of my head that, oh my gosh, I'm going to be the one that the coals stick to my feet, and I'm going to get burned. And I'm by myself. And I have to go back to my Airbnb, alone. If I get hurt, what am I going to do? I don't have anybody to help me. And, and here I am down here, and my husband's in a different place, and so it was just, I kept, but I had gotten hurt before, so I kept running this thing in my head, like I'm scared because I'm afraid I'm going to be the one that happens to. And what finally happened, is that I got up to where it was just exactly my turn. And I was like, if I'm going to do this, and I was starting to work aspects of manifestation then. So I was like, if I'm going to do this and do it right, and it's going to be successful at it, I have to get rid of this stuff. Everybody's thinking that. So what I did was I just thought to myself, everybody's thinking and feeling that, but in one moment, I just have to stop feeling it and thinking it for just a minute or two. I just have to, I'll just put it back here, out of my vibration. It's there. Everybody's feeling it. I know everybody's aware of that. I'll let them feel it for me for a little bit. But right now, I'm going to forget about that. I'm going to tune in, focus, tune in, turn on, tap, all that good stuff. And I am going for it. I'm going for it. So I get up to the thing, and I said my little, made my power move. They call it stake your moves. I stuck my move. And I went across it. And I just saw myself doing it. And it's because I had to take that doubt completely out and toss it away just for that little bit and correct my vibe. And it happened instantly. I just saw myself doing it. And you guys know that anytime you've ever been like, you wanted to do something that was hard, or you saw these things around it that, I heard somebody explaining that they had gone to one of these Tough Mudders or something like that, one of these competitions. And there was a part that came up where you have to go up this wall, and there wasn't a lot of people at that time doing the event, or the competition. There wasn't a lot of people doing it. Usually people help people up, and there was nobody to help this person. So what they did was, right when they got up to it, they just imagined themselves doing it, and they smelled it, and they felt it, and what it was going to be like to be successful. Just totally psyched themselves out, got in the zone, got in that flow state, in the vortex, if you want to call it that, and went for it. And she saw herself doing it, and she got up there and got by herself, and everybody was like, hell yeah, and then she had to see it, feel it, smell it, be it, everything in her head, and then do it. It doesn't happen the other way around. It doesn't happen that, we know we can do it, and then it comes. We have to be in alignment with it already happening already. We have to be grateful for it already. We have to feel the success and be, feel it that it happened already. I already won. All of us have done these things before, and surely, when you fall out of alignment, you slip out, and you start, dwelling on, what you want really bad and all of this and that, you start to feel lack again, and then you get drug out, right? Out of the good energy, out of the high vibe. You get drug out, and it's by limiting beliefs, and it's by, energy blockages and thoughts that are stopping it and everything else. But the quickest way to get back in that is to 100% see it, feel it, know it. Right there. Psych yourself out. However you got to do it. See yourself doing it and do it. And you can change it in an instant. You just have to be able to see it and feel it. The more multi-sensory you can be about it, the better it is. And it works. Now, the trick comes when you've got to stay in that 24/7. And it is possible. It's possible to walk and talk and speak and eat and, everything positive, high vibe. But that's why I teach people that it's so important, in order to do that and to get what they want, they have to start first thing in the morning. You get up and you get into that high vibe state. You align with source energy. You align with the creator energy in the universe. And the universe, guys, is, it's there for you all the time. But it's especially there for you right out of your sleep state. And that's the best time to do it. Give yourself that. If you've got people all around you and stuff to do all day that's dealing with negative things and all of that, please take the time for yourself to get yourself in alignment in the morning so that you can deal with all of that stuff and it doesn't, you're like Teflon. It doesn't rub off on you. Okay? So important to do that. It just makes it changes everything. That's the make or break right there, pretty much. So, so important to get in alignment with source creator energy every day. Something else that I kind of wanted to bring up is that, if you slip out of alignment, and you slip out of high vibe back into kind of negative stuff, it's usually because you're focused on what you're dealing with instead of focusing on what you want. You see what I'm saying? So I know a few minutes ago I said, well, when you dwell on what you want, you create lack. But it's a little bit different those are different ideas in the way I was using those terms or those phrases. If you're slipping out, it's because at the time you're focused on, doing and you're not focused on what you want. You're focused on the just day-to-day stuff and not keeping, hey, I'm one. I've got everything that I want already. It is a mindset. You've got to just, when you feel yourself slipping out, slip back in. And like I said, it has to do with focus. You're usually focusing on the I don't want to say the word wrong, but you're focusing on, a lot of people, for instance, they'll say, well, I really want a partner, but I don't want them to be like this, and I don't want them to be like that, and I don't want, you're focusing on the don't wants instead of the wants, right? So that's like reverse manifesting. And I'll tell you, when people who are in debt or they are experiencing, negative consequences or things like that, it is not the universe punishing you. It's not that you're that irresponsible. You're not being punished because you're irresponsible with money, or you're not going to be punished because you passed up a job opportunity, or, you're not going to get punished. And that's the thing. It's actually one of my things about the way religion is taught nowadays. It's all about being punished, and that is just not true, and it's not high vibe. That is not God's source energy. Not a punish. No, I'm going to be punished. That's fear. You cannot have fear and love in the same place. You cannot, say, I love God, I'm worshiping God, and I'm aligned with God, and then be afraid of God. It doesn't work that way. And that's, honestly, I thought about it, in a way kind of like, well, people, are they just going to church and stuff like that? Are they just learning, because of fear? Or do they really want to know and love God? Or are they just doing it to save their ass? They're afraid of hell. That's not love. That's something else. That's not love. That's fear. And you can't get anywhere from that state. You can't get what you want from a state of fear. It doesn't work. Even Albert Einstein said that you cannot solve a problem from the same mindset that created it, which is, if you're thinking negative, you can't create from lack. I don't know anybody that ever has. You can't create from lack. You can't create from, low vibration, fear, and hate mindset. You just can't do it. So it's best to be aligned, be positive, and, already have it won. See it, smell it, feel it, do it. Have the feeling in your body, vibrate with it. Be creative and be aligned with source. It's huge. So some of the second parts in order to align with source is that we got to deal with those limiting beliefs. We got to get rid of those, and we've got to get rid of those energy blocks. And sometimes, when you go into coaching, if you take the manifestation course that I'm offering, you work on literally taking it out of the body Take it out of your mindset. Take it out of, there's so many different ways to support that, and it's beautiful. It's just beautiful. And you'll start to see how things just come to you. Opportunities just come where before there was a drought, there was nothing. It's truly, truly amazing. And you'll start to see this work. And I was reading my little notes here. Kind of, I was trying to think what I wanted to say. We have choices, and in order to get back in the high vibe from a low vibe, we have to choose that. Sometimes we have to keep choosing our way towards it. And once you start choosing, whether it's individually, collectively, you then solidify, you almost crystallize this other path, and soon you'll start to leave the other stuff and the other beliefs and even people will fall off in a way, and you will start to move in that direction, creating a whole new path, a whole new set of rules there, a whole new existence almost. And you don't even this other stuff is like something that happened a long time ago, or it's like another realm. It's amazing when you start co-creating your own life and work in the laws of manifestation, laws of attraction. And I'm going to tell you, the biggest one is the law of entanglement. And that's basically what we've been talking about here today, is the law of entanglement. Being aligned with source. That if I'm aligned with this, then this is going to rub off on me, and it just perpetuates and grows and grows and grows. It's great. I can't imagine now, even though, I'm not perfect at it, I'm still working on it, but I have, I've slipped some this week with the whole political stuff that I mentioned earlier. But, I'm a human being. And the good news is that I chose to step back into high vibe and get myself together again. And that's how you lead. And I'm telling you, people around you are going to be just amazed at the changes when you start doing this work. It's incredible. But I hope that all of you, next time you're sitting there thinking that you can't do something, I want you to instantly, and this is your homework. We can do this is a homework part here. We can do this little experiment. The next time that there's something that you want to manifest or do or accomplish, and you think, gosh, it's going to be really hard, I want you to take yourself back to a time where you actually, flip the script on all the doubts and limiting beliefs and everything, and you just saw yourself doing it. And I want you to walk yourself through, like I did in my story and the other story about the person with the Tough Mudder thing. Do that. Walk yourself through the steps of, I'm running towards it, I'm going, I'm grabbing the thing, I'm walking and I'm hopping and rolling and I'm on top and I've made it. I can see what the sky looks like. I can see the clouds. I can, smell the smell of the rope. I can feel the rope on my hands. I can feel my legs, the back muscles in my legs burning. Take yourself through the whole process. If it's like winning the lottery, or it's going up to the person that you've had a crush on for years and you want that date with them, imagine what their eyes look like when you guys are talking and you're asking them out. Imagine what the word yes, I'll go out with you, looks like rolling off their lips. What they smell like. Just take yourself there. Don't be afraid to have an imagination around it, because this is how you create the vibe of having and getting and doing and being grateful for it already. You'll have it. The universe has no choice but to give it to you. And that's solid fact. If you are it, it's going to come and be attracted to you. You got to be it. Okay? So that's your homework assignment. If there's anything, this week that comes up, and just remember to instantly change your state around it. See yourself doing it. I don't care what it is. I'd love to know what it is. I actually hope that you guys would share some comments, or write to me. You can email me. You can instant message me. Drop in the comments. But please like and subscribe. And yeah, I'm just excited that I can't wait to see what happens out there. And you guys starting to create your own life, your own destiny. And because you can. It's your inherent right. You were given that ability when you were born. So, anyway, all right, that's all I got for today. And I will see you again soon. Bye.